Welcome into the Finance Report. I'm David Wilkinson alongside Mallory Hoff, and we have a packed show for you.
Here's what's ahead. First, we'll talk about retiring with added confidence. Then in 15 and 15, miracles, guaranteed income, and your taxes. Plus, we'll spin the wheel of retirement. That and so much more ahead.
But first, joining us now is Mike Riedmiller. Mike is the president of Riedmiller Wealth Management, an Omaha area firm that helps people prepare for a confident retirement. Mike is also a popular radio show host.
Mike, thank you so much for joining us. We certainly do appreciate it. I want to start by talking about the state of the market and the state of the economy. Some would say this is pretty uncertain right now. Should that uncertainty carry over into how we feel about our retirement planning?
Well, potentially. If somebody has a plan in place, they could have some added confidence. But for people that have not gone through a planning process, there certainly could be some uncertainty.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate though, right? I mean, you've been working decades to get to this place. You probably have more money now than you've ever had before. You're on the doorstep of retirement, perhaps in retirement. Having this anxiety, these concerns, that's not the way you want to live.
Not at all. Like you said, worked many years building up that life savings. And the goal in retirement should be more fun with family and friends, doing the things you enjoy, golfing more, shopping more, traveling, doing the things on that bucket list. But unfortunately, without that plan in place, you might not be able to do all of that.
When it comes to the market and the amount of risk we're taking on, I think we're all familiar with the saying that our portfolio should match our age and stage, but I think that's maybe easier said than done. How hard is it at times to convince someone it's time to pull back on the amount of risk they're taking on?
Yeah, it can be challenging because they might be unaware of all the risks that they have. That's why my firm offers that complimentary review known as a portfolio x-ray, so we can see which investments are maybe doing better, which are underperforming, also uncover some of that sneaky hidden fees that are part of a lot of plans.
All right, a lot to unpack there. We'll start though. Why are people, you think, getting on the verge of retirement and being overexposed in the market? You would think, right?
Yeah.
That they would change their focus at this stage.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the way that a person invests at this stage, coming up on retirement or already retired, certainly different than their 20s, 30s, or 40s. But maybe they never had a review meeting, never went through a planning process, just have it on autopilot, probably not aware of all the risks that they're taking.
All right, you touched on fees a few moments ago. You called them sneaky and hidden at times.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. Tell me what we need to know.
Well, with fees, a lot of people, unfortunately, not aware of what they're really paying. There's something called net expense ratio that many people are not aware of, and it's not their fault. It's not on an account statement. It's usually on page 82 in a prospectus in a really small print in that, or somewhere on a website. So they're, it's not their fault. But again, just not aware of that, but that can add up over the course of years and decades.
Yeah. Only on page 82. So if I get to that point of whatever, how many papers I've got in front of me right there. But let me play devil's advocate with fees. If my advisor that I'm with says, well, you're only being charged 1%, perhaps 2%, doesn't sound like a big number.
Yeah, doesn't sound like it, but think about what that can add up to be over years and decades. And there's likely other costs or expenses that you're not aware of. So fees is one thing, costs and expenses that can add up. Money out of your pocket and out of your portfolio.
All right, so for the most part, pensions have gone by the wayside. So critical then to generate multiple streams of income. Tell me about the income planning process and how important you feel this is when it comes to the big picture that is your retirement.
Income planning can be critical for all the obvious reasons.
Yeah.
We work for years and decades. We get that regular paycheck. Once you retire, where's the money going to come from? So we really look at Social Security and what other sources of income. Hopefully that's more than expenses. When it's not, when expenses are higher, then there's a gap. And that's where we got to look at, okay, withdrawals and make sure that percentage rate matches up. So there's a lot of moving parts, but income planning is very important.
Yeah.
If I'm hearing you correctly, though, it sounds like you're talking about creating multiple streams of income. If indeed that's the case, why do retirees need to think about creating that many income sources?
Yeah, great question. Social Security was never meant to be the sole source of income in retirement.
Okay.
It's just part of it. Pensions, not as common as they used to be. So some people will look at rental property or farmland, especially in and around Omaha, rural Nebraska and Iowa, sometimes annuities in certain cases. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. That's why somebody really needs a customized plan.
Tax planning is so critical in this process, and yet it's so frequently overlooked. What should retirees be considering when it comes to their taxes in retirement?
Well, what they should know is taxes could be one of the biggest expenses in retirement, costing them tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or even more in the coming years and decades. So it can be very important and should be a big part of their plan, or at least part of the conversation.
You just said potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yes.
Please tell me that people are planning for this and they're not overlooking it.
I'd love to, David, but okay,
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, not all the time. Here's the thing that a lot of people do not realize. When somebody has an IRA or a 401k, they have a partner, and that partner is Uncle Sam, meaning for every dollar that comes out, they get some of it, but Uncle Sam gets some of it.
Okay.
But with tax planning, specifically if you have a Roth account, a Roth conversion, and there's other tax strategies, you can potentially reduce or eliminate some of those future taxes.
So why is this so frequently overlooked?
Great question. Well, again, people are working, they're focused on their career or job, and unfortunately, it's not brought to their attention. Maybe they don't have an advisor at all, and they don't know where to go or where to look, or maybe the folks that they're working with don't offer that, or that's not part of the conversation, but yet very often overlooked, unfortunately.
When I turn on the TV, I see lots of commercials, from people that I would consider that you're competing against. And it's grow, 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 grow. And what you're talking about right there is entailing a lot more than just grow, grow, grow when it comes to planning for a confident retirement.
Yeah, absolutely. In your 20s, 30s, 40s, grow, 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 go, go, go. But coming up on retirement or already retired, so specifically late 50s into your 60s or 70s, you need a customized retirement plan where we've got to look at that tax planning along with income planning and investment planning.
This is really great information, which means the time to act is now.
Absolutely. Today, exclusively for our Finance Report viewers, Riedmiller Wealth Management has a great offer. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $250,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary full-blown retirement plan just for you. This will allow his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap, analyzing where you are right now, and then discuss your best steps to really get ready for a confident retirement. The number to call right now is 402-791-6177. And if the lines are busy, leave a message with your name and number, and the team will call you back.
If you're quickly approaching retirement and you've never sat down to speak with a financial advisor, it might be about that time. Mike, from your experience, I know that this can be a very anxiety-provoking conversation for a lot of folks. What can people do to ensure they get the most out of that initial appointment or conversation?
Great question. First of all, just relax. It's going to be a casual conversation about their situation and goals. Everybody's different. Some are married, some are single, some have kids, some don't, some working, some not working.
Sure.
So we're going to talk specifically about where they're at. And I always tell people, bring in whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to bring your account statements in, some people do that. Other people don't bring anything at all. It's going to be 20 to 30 minutes, maybe a little longer if we start talking about Husker football or Blue Jay basketball.
Which I bet you do.
I get a little sidetracked sometimes, but again, just a very casual conversation at my office right here in the center of Omaha around 120th and Pacific Street.
So let me ask you this then. I think a lot of people are aware of the fact that they can't really move things around until they're 59 and a half. With that in mind, when is the appropriate time to sit down and have the conversation? What age?
Well, Mallory, it can be very productive for people in their later 50s into their 60s, or even if they're in their 70s. So a lot of folks that come in, they're coming up on retirement, maybe in the next 5 to 10 years. Other folks are already retired. Everybody's situation is different. So it all starts with that casual conversation about their situation and goals.
So everyone's situation is different, and I would guess most people want their retirement to look a little bit different than their neighbors. Let's talk about that. A tailor-made retirement plan, from what I understand, is really where it's at.
Absolutely. Yeah, because some people listening to this right now might have a 6-figure portfolio, other people 7-figure. Some people have longevity on their side, other people have a lot of kids or grandkids, there's churches, charities, so many different moving parts. Yes, a tailor-made plan, not a cookie-cutter plan that sometimes, unfortunately, we see.
Absolutely. So, Mike, there are a lot of do-it-yourselfers out there. A lot of them are very hardworking and very smart and pretty darn good on a spreadsheet. Yet, from the conversations you and I have had offset from time to time, You've said there are a lot of things those do-it-yourselfers are missing. Let's talk about some of them.
That's a great question. A lot of times they might not be aware of all the risks that they have in their portfolio. When the market's up, they're probably going up, but unfortunately, when the market's down, they're probably seeing losses in their account. They might not have the different layers and levels of potential protection that they could have. They probably are over-correlated. In other words, have a lot of similar investments. Because here's the thing, you'd have two different mutual funds in different names, but if they hold a lot of the same types of investments, they're probably going to be correlated. They're going to move together. A lot of times they may be not aware of how to truly diversify or maybe have a better balance.
Absolutely. This could be considered a complicated time to be in retirement, to be nearing retirement. Tell me what people bring to your attention at first appointments from time to time.
Yeah, great question. Every conversation's different. Again, it all starts with that casual conversation, talking about their goals and situation, and we just go from there. We try to keep it very casual. Some folks bring in their account statements, other people don't. We always tell them, bring in whatever you're comfortable with. We'll chat, and then we'll go from there. And then a lot of times that'll lead to a complimentary review known as a portfolio x-ray. And then from there, we'll see how they're invested and uncover some of those different things, which investments are doing better, which are underperforming, also uncovering some of those sneaky hidden fees they might not be aware of.
What I'm gathering from you is this conversation doesn't have to be daunting, and it doesn't have to be scary. Is that right?
Absolutely. It's a lot like this. We're going to have a cup of coffee or a soda or water, maybe munch on some cookies, and it can be anywhere from 15 minutes to 30 minutes or longer if we start talking about sports or anything else Nebraska related.
Mike, always a pleasure. Wonderful insight and guidance as always. And coming up on the Finance Report, we'll be taking a spin on the wheel of retirement. But first, David will put Mike on the clock. And now, exclusively for our Finance Report viewers, Mike has a great offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $250,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary full-blown retirement plan just for you. This will allow the team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap analyzing where you are right now and discuss your best steps to really get ready for a confident retirement. The number to call right now, 402-791-6177. And if the lines are busy, leave a message with your name and your number, and the team will call you back.
All right, time now for the fastest 15 seconds in retirement. 15 and 15, 15 topics and 15 seconds for Mike. My friend, are you ready for this clock to start?
Ready or not, let's go.
Let's go. Question number 1. Magic numbers, chasing other people's goals, not necessarily the route to go. So Mike, in your opinion, how can people figure out what they really need for a more comfortable retirement?
Great question. They need a goals-based retirement plan based on their values and specific situation, because everybody's situation is truly unique.
Absolutely. As you discussed with Mallory, no cookie-cutter plans when it comes to your retirement.
Absolutely.
Question number 2. According to a survey, many millionaires believe it will take a miracle to retire more securely. Why do you think they have this type of anxiety?
Yeah, all the information, but especially misinformation out there, online, in the media, family, friends, the hot stock tip, it never ends. And hey, that's just in the morning. Look what's coming in the afternoon. More's coming all the time. You got to manage all that, manage the noise.
Absolutely. I love that answer right there, because there are a lot of different voices out there. Question number 3, we all know what the market can do for better or for worse. We've discussed taking some risk off the table. But my question to you is, what are some reasonable expectations when you're investing?
Yeah, reasonable rate of return. You know, a lot of folks, they want to make maybe 5 to 10%, somewhere in there, sometimes more, sometimes less. Again, everybody's situation is different. For some people, protection is more important. For other people, growth is more important. And again, these are just ranges, a lot of moving parts, so yeah.
Yeah, it goes back to, again, having that customized plan for you. Question number 4, this is a sad and scary survey. Those nearing retirement around the ages of 60 to 67 years old, less than 25% of them say they've saved enough for retirement. How did this retirement crisis happen?
Yeah, another great question. Really a lack of financial education out there. And I hear from a lot of folks when they come in, look, they were focused on their career or business for years and decades. They put money in their retirement plan, but just hoped it would work out. That's where the planning process, whether you're coming up on retirement or already retired, is so important.
Yeah, hope's not really a retirement strategy, is it?
Hope is not. No,
Hope is not.
definitely
Okay,
not.
glad we clarified that. Question number 5, a report found a big difference between 1990 and present day. How about retirees needing nearly double the amount of savings along with needing to replace 80% of their paycheck? How do we go about doing this?
Yeah, it comes down to the planning process. A little thing called inflation, which everybody's heard of, probably going to continue. And you work years and decades, you get that paycheck. When you retire, where does the money come from? So maybe Social Security, but we want other sources of income too. So it really comes down to income planning.
Another thing we discussed at the top of the show, creating multiple streams of income.
Absolutely.
It can make a huge difference for you. Question number 6, the A word, once a no-no, but now annuities? A yes. According to a survey, a large number of workers are interested in taking some of their savings to create a steady income stream. Mike, why do you think there's been the change of heart when it comes to annuities?
Well, the fear of running out of money.
Okay.
There's different types of annuities. It's a very competitive industry. One company does something, another one will try to meet or beat that. Some annuities can be set up for income, some for some protection and growth. There's a lot of shapes and sizes. In certain circumstances, it could be a nice part of a retirement plan. Certainly not a one-size-fits-all and not necessarily for everyone.
All right, I'll go sidebar on you right quick here. You would say in the past, annuities, they had somewhat of a bad rap. Why do you think their reputation's improved?
Yeah, because of the enhancements and the competitiveness of this industry. Again, a lot of these insurance companies and carriers have made changes, consumer demand, and they become more attractive for some plans. They've changed and evolved since the 80s and 90s. These are not our grandma's annuities. How's that?
Very important to know. Love that. Thanks for going sidebar with me.
Absolutely.
Question number 7. This may seem like a silly question, but why wouldn't someone want a predictable lifetime income stream?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, I've never had anybody call and complain and say, Mike, I got paid again this month and last month and last month and next month. I've never had complaints about that. Yeah, everybody's situation is different. Some people just feel like maybe they'll limit growth or won't get as much out of their money. So again, for some plans, it could be the right thing, but not all the time. So it should be part of the conversation and figure out what that looks like for everybody.
All right, I love that answer right there too. Yeah, who's going to call up and complain about having too much income in retirement?
Yeah, every month. Every month on the 15th, it keeps coming.
I love it. All right, great start to 15 and 15. We're going to pause the clock. More to come, but first, right now, exclusively for our Finance Report viewers, Mike has a great offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $250,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary full-blown retirement plan just for you. This will allow his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap, analyzing where you are right now, and then discuss your best steps to really get ready for a confident retirement. The number to call right now is 402-791-6177. And if the lines are busy, leave a message with your name and number, and the team will call you back. Back out the gates we come. Question number 8. When it comes to taxes, Mike, it's important for retirees to think beyond that yearly deadline in April. So what can investing tax efficiently potentially mean for our money?
It can be a huge game changer. Taxes can be one of the biggest expenses retirees have in retirement, costing them tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands. We've got to get that right. Tax planning, big in retirement planning.
How much money again? Say that one more time.
Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even more.
Okay, that's an attention getter right there. Question number 9. Target date funds have been popular. They've been common, but some employers are rethinking their approach to them. Should people be doing the same?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Target date funds, I've seen some underperformance or maybe not favorable results from some of those. Some people figure, okay, if I've got a target date fund, it's supposed to perform a certain way, but even in the more conservative ones, there's been losses that people were not aware that they could have. So I'm glad they're rethinking them.
Okay, very good. Question number 10, being told you have a diversified portfolio. It seems nice, but what you're diversified in, that certainly matters. What should this look like for people?
Yeah, great question. You should have a diversified or balanced plan in different asset classes. A lot of times people not truly aware of what they're diversified in. You could have 2 different funds called something different, but if they have 90 or 95% of the same holdings or stocks within them, maybe not as diversified as they thought.
Yeah, you want to get dialed in with that. Question number 11, money is personal and we have emotions over it. But why does Mike Riedmiller say you have to separate emotions and your money?
A great question. If you think about it, fear and greed, that drives the market, that drives investment decisions, not the best decision-making process with those two emotions. We've got to look at what somebody's goals are, and then also the facts and figures, and put a customized plan together. But again, separate that fear and greed and those emotions.
I love that. Question number 12, inflation, low interest rates, public debt, the list goes on and on and on. This could all lower public benefits in the future. So what's a retiree's counterpunch to the unpredictable?
Yeah, great question. Retirement planning and that planning process. It comes down to their situation because everybody's situation is different. We've got to dial that in. It starts with that casual conversation, looking at their investments, their goals, and putting that all together. A lot of times it's an ongoing conversation too. Once they're a client, make sure that we stay dialed in.
I really need to know, you think I have a strong right there? Was that a good right?
You do. I could feel it.
Just wanted to make sure. Question number 13, people have an ideal date in mind they might want to work, but what can someone do if their employer requires them to retire early?
Yeah, with that can be a big issue because some people come in, they have a specific date, 2 years, 3 days, and 4 hours.
Yes.
Other people don't want to retire, but the great thing living here in Omaha, like I've told people, there's so much opportunity for other work or employment or even part-time work in retirement. We want to look at their assets and what they have and what situation they're in because you want to voluntarily retire, but if you don't, there's some things that we can put in place, but again, it comes down to planning.
Yeah, contingencies are great. Question number 14, save for retirement or help your kid pay for college. It's been a challenge over the years for some, but why is investing in a 529 plan something you should consider?
Yeah, with that, 529 plan, there's tax advantages to that.
Okay.
So that can be a big part because if you're going to be paying for college, then utilizing a 529 plan for a lot of cases can be an advantage. Nebraska's got some great 529 plan options.
Well, with that in mind, let's stay on campus for the final question of 15 and 15. Little power over what you pay in tuition, but living expenses, they could be a different story. What do you think of someone taking some money and buying a home in these college towns instead of going the dorm route?
I know people that have done that. Every situation is different.
Sure.
If you've got one child and they're going to be there for 4 years, okay, maybe. If you've got multiple children and they're more likely to stay there, that could be the right option. But if you've done real estate in the past, okay. If you've never done it, you'd want to tread carefully.
Okay. But it could be potentially another income source?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Again, it's not passive income because you've got to manage it, so you got to be aware of the different moving parts.
Okay.
I know some people in real estate have done well. I know others that have exited. So
right. Again, it comes back to that customized plan that you're talking about.
Yes.
Mike Riedmiller, off the clock at 15 and 15.
All right.
Great work, my friend. All right, for those looking to get a better handle on their retirement today, exclusively for our Finance Report viewers, Mike has a great offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $250,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary full-blown retirement plan just for you. This will allow his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap, analyzing where you are right now, and then discuss your best steps to really get ready for a confident retirement. The number to call right now is 402-791-6177. And if the lines are busy, leave a message with your name and number, and the team will call you back.
When it comes to planning for retirement, pre-retirees often have more questions than answers. And it is for that very reason, Mike, today we are going to have you spin the wheel of retirement. Let's have you do the honors.
All right.
All right, whatever we land on, tell me the question you get most frequently about that topic and your answer.
Okay.
Income. Let's do this.
Oh, great question. Big part of retirement, it comes down to income planning because a lot of folks are going to have Social Security. Unfortunately, pensions are not as common as they used to be. RMDs from retirement accounts, dividend-paying stocks. A lot of people around here might have farmland or rental property. Sometimes people will use an annuity in the right situation, not a one-size-fits-all, but we want to have those pieces in place.
Let's spin again.
All right.
And we have landed on growth.
Growth, yeah. Well, in retirement, you want your assets to keep growing, but you want to have the proper amount of risk. The way you should retire now is going to be different than when you were in your 20s, 30s, or 40s. A lot of folks watching this show are coming up on retirement or are already retired. So we want to have growth, but also balance the risk. That comes down to investment planning.
What do you say to those who are chasing growth at all costs?
Be careful because you think back, 2001, the market was down. 2008, it was down. 2022 it was down. In the next 5, 10, 20 years, how many times could the market potentially be down in somebody's retirement? We've got to factor that in.
It could cost you. Let's spin again.
All right.
Taxes, so important yet so frequently overlooked.
Yes, taxes, Mallory, can be one of the biggest expenses people have in retirement, costing them tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even more. Let's think about it. If somebody has a 401k or an IRA, they're basically in partnership with Uncle Sam. Because for every dollar that comes out, they don't get to keep all that money. Uncle Sam gets some of it. We've got to factor taxes in. There's different potential things that can be put in place that could reduce future tax liability.
All right, this will be your last spin. I encourage you to make it count.
All right, Mallory, I'm going to use the elbow.
Okay,
right
well
there.
done, sir. Well
Have
done.
a little fun with that.
All right, here we go. Here we go. And protection.
Yeah, another great topic. Again, the folks listening, coming up on retirement or already retired, we've got to have some different layers and levels of protection built in because we've got to get it right. This is your life savings. You've worked years and decades. So having protection as part of the plan can be huge. It can be a game changer.
All of these items we landed on today, why is it so critical that in retirement they work together?
Well, they do work together because income, growth, protection, taxes, it's all part of the retirement plan. If you don't have all of that accounted for, you could have some shortfalls and there could be some risks there that people are not aware of.
Mike, well done, sir, and thank you for spinning the wheel of retirement.
Absolutely.
And for you at home, if you want to keep talking about the topics we landed on today, Riedmiller Wealth Management has a great offer right now for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $250,000 or greater. They're offering a complimentary full-blown retirement plan just for you. This will allow the team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap analyzing where you are right now and discuss your best steps to really get ready for a confident retirement. The number to call right now, 402-791-6177. Again, 402-791-6177. If the lines are busy, leave a message with your name and your number, and the team will call you back.
Mike, before we go, we started the show talking about what it takes to build a retirement plan. What do you believe some are the right calls to building that more confident retirement?
That's a fantastic question. It comes down to investment planning, income planning, tax planning, also legacy planning, putting all those pieces together so people can have a more confident retirement.
And Mike, with all of this in mind today, you actually have something very special for our viewers watching at home.
I do, and I'm really excited about this. For the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $250,000 or greater, I'd like to invite you into the office where the team and I will sit down with you personally and help you create your very own retirement plan. If the lines are busy, please leave a voicemail and I will commit to calling you back.
A very generous offer. Mike, thanks so much for your time and the great insight. We appreciate it. So for you at home, exclusively for our Finance Report viewers, Riedmiller Wealth Management has a great offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $250,000 or greater, they're offering a complimentary full-blown retirement plan just for you.
This will allow the team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap analyzing where you are right now and discuss your best steps to really get ready for a confident retirement. The number to call right now, 402-791-6177. If the lines are busy, leave a message with your name and your number, and the team will call you back.